guys! How are you today? Welcome back to my channel Adventures in America. If you are new to my channel, my name is Jocelyn and I'm a dual citizen of the United States and the Philippines. For today's topic, I'm going to discuss the latest travel updates in the Philippines. There are also some changes regarding health protocols and quarantine requirements. But before we get started, please like this video, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe and hit that notification bell. I always welcome new subscribers. Let's start with the travel ban against 10 countries. Based on the press release of the Bureau of Immigration issued on August 14, 2021, the travel ban against 10 countries has been extended until August 31st. These countries are India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Nepal, United Arab Emirates, Oman, Thailand, Malaysia, and Indonesia. So if you are a passenger coming from this list of banned countries in the last 14 days, you will be denied entry in the Philippines. However, there are exceptions to the travel ban. First, if you are only in these countries for a transit purpose or a layover, then you may be able to enter the Philippines as long as you are not in these countries in the last 14 days. Second, Filipinos who are under repatriation program of the government and who are coming from this list of banned countries are allowed to enter the Philippines as long as you follow the strict quarantine protocols when you arrive. Here are the things to remember. First, Philippines is not yet open for international tourism. The visa on arrival, which is valid for 30 days visa-free for international tourists, are suspended since March of 2020, and there is no official announcement when the visa on arrival will come back. These are the standard health protocols, and also there is a new registration requirement that was added recently. First, you must have a face mask and a face shield. Second, you must register through the Trace app mobile application. You can do this online or you can download this app from your phone. The Trace app is for contact tracing purposes. Also, in addition to wearing a face mask and the face shield and downloading the Trace app, you must also execute or submit a form, the ECIF or Electronic Case Investigation Form. Now, if you are a Philippine Airlines passenger, there is a separate ECIF form that you must fill out so you can have a COVID testing when you arrive in the Philippines. For those who are not a PAL passenger, or if you are flying through a foreign airline, you must register through the padlab.ph, and that is the ECIF for non-PAL passengers. There is another requirement for all passengers, and this is the registration for quarantine purposes. So all travelers should register to the Bureau of Quarantine eHealth declaration card, including children. Register to the BOQ One Health Pass, OHP, to declare your personal information, health status, and travel history. Once you have completed the step 2, you will receive a QR code before boarding. There is also an additional requirement for all non-overseas Filipino workers and non-Filipinos who are coming from Middle East flights. So you will need to register through the padlab.ph for your COVID testing. Another requirement is that you must have a pre-booked hotel depending on your vaccination status. So I'm going to provide in detail regarding those who are fully vaccinated and those unvaccinated passengers. First, you need a pre-booked hotel for 10 days if you are coming from a non-greenlane country. Now, there are only 36 countries on the new updated green list as of August 12, 2021. So here are the list of countries. Now, for those who are coming from a green lane country, you only need to pre-book a hotel for 7 days. Also, if you are vaccinated in the Philippines, you will only need to pre-book for 7 days of hotel quarantine. However, there are specific requirements to avail of these 7 days of hotel quarantine. Now, there are specific requirements to be able to avail of the 7 days of hotel quarantine for those coming from a green lane country, and this is included in the Interagency Task Force Resolution number 128. So these are the 4 requirements. First, you must come from a port of origin that is a green country or a nation with a low COVID-19 risk. Second, you have stayed in that green lane country exclusively for the last 14 days before arriving in the Philippines. Number 3 is that you must be fully vaccinated either in the Philippines or overseas. And number 4 is that your vaccination must be independently verified or confirmed by national authorities as valid and authentic upon arrival. If you are unable to prove your vaccination status, you will have to revert to the 10 days of mandatory hotel quarantine instead of the 7 days. So these 4 requirements are essential. Now, for those overseas Filipino workers, together with their families, either their spouse or children, their vaccination status must be verified independently by the Philippine Overseas Labor Administration abroad before coming to the Philippines. If you are traveling with your family, there's actually a rule that only 1 room per adult is allowed. However, there are exceptions. First, families with minor children below 18 years old, if the family has 2 or more adult members, only 1 adult can stay with the minor children. Number 2, person with disability can stay with 1 adult companion. Number 3, travelers with medical emergencies. However, based on information I received from those who traveled to the Philippines, if you can request the hotel to accommodate your whole family, then you may do so as long as you sign a waiver. So it depends on the hotel requirements of a particular hotel. So make sure to email directly the hotel that you are planning to stay and inquire about having your whole family stay in 1 room before booking. Before I proceed with the Bureau of Immigration requirements for certain eligible passengers, let me summarize the important health protocol checklist before you travel. First, face mask, face shield. Download the Trace app, also registered through the Bureau of Quarantine One Health Pass. Also, you needed a pre-booked hotel either for 10 days or 7 days. And you needed to register through the ECIF depending if you are a PAL passenger or a non-PAL passenger, in which case then you have to register through the padlab.ph. The only exception is that if you are a passenger, whether a non-OFW or a non-Filipino, and if you're coming from the Middle East, if you're flying from the Middle East and you're going to Manila, then you must register through the padlab.ph instead of the PAL ECIF form. All children and infants are required to take the swab test or RT-PCR test. And now the cost of the swab test is depending on the port of entry. First, in Manila, it will be 3,500 for non-overseas Filipino workers or non-Filipinos. Also, all overseas Filipino workers will have a free swab testing regardless of the port of entry. For non-OFW arriving in Cebu, the cost is 4,100. For non-overseas Filipinos arriving in Clark, the cost is 4,000. For non-overseas Filipinos arriving in Laoag City, the cost is 3,500 pesos. For non-overseas Filipino workers arriving in Subic, the cost is 3,800 pesos. Now, if you were born in Pampanga or a resident of Pampanga, there's actually a separate program for you. The Balik Pinas, Balik Pampanga program is an initiative by the local government unit of Pampanga to ensure the safe arrival of Kapampangans, including the OFWs and non-OFWs. These passengers shall undergo the mandatory swab test and quarantine stay in Pampanga. For eligible passengers who can avail of the program are those born in or a resident of Pampanga and with flights arriving in NAIA Terminal 1 or 2. So if you are eligible, you must download the app, Balik Pinas, Balik Pampanga Citizens app, and follow all the requirements. Please make sure that you register 10 days ahead of your arrival in the Philippines. So upon your arrival, a representative from the Balik Pinas, Balik Pampanga program will meet you for immediate transport to Pampanga. Here are the requirements for eligible passengers to the Philippines. First, if you're a Filipino, bring a Philippine passport and also proof of Filipino citizenship, and provide a pre-booked hotel either for 7 days or 10 days depending on your vaccination status or if you are coming from a green lane country. If you are a former Filipino, please bring your foreign passport and old or expired or valid Philippine passport, and also additional proof of Filipino citizenship. Also, please provide a pre-booked hotel quarantine facility either for 7 days or 10 days depending on your vaccination status or if you are coming from a green lane country. Next, if you are a foreign spouse traveling with a Filipino spouse, please provide your foreign passport plus your marriage certificate, which must be original or authentic. So for former Filipinos traveling with their foreign spouse, or either if you're traveling alone or with family members, please go to the Filipino lane and inform the immigration officer that you will be availing of the Balikbayan visa so you can stay for 1 year visa-free in the Philippines. For all other foreign nationals eligible to travel in the Philippines, please provide your foreign passport, which must be valid for at least 6 months, and you must have a return or onward ticket. Also, please provide a valid and existing visa. Now, for those who are a foreign parent, either you are traveling with a Filipino child or the child is in Philippines, you must have a valid 9A visa. Also, an entry exemption document is no longer required. Now, if you are a foreign spouse of a Filipino national based in the Philippines, you must have a valid passport, valid for at least 6 months and beyond, and you must have a return or an onward ticket. Also, you must provide a 9A visa upon arrival. For all other eligible foreign nationals, you must provide a valid and existing visa, and your passport must be valid for at least 6 months and beyond. And all passengers must have a pre-booked hotel quarantine facility for 7 days or 10 days depending on your vaccination status or if you are coming from a green lane country or not. For all passengers who have connecting domestic flights in the Philippines, you must register through the spas.ph and provide a Philippine or a 10-digit phone number. Also, depending on the community quarantine levels, please check the local requirements of the local government unit of your destination before traveling. Either you needed to provide a negative test or provide the status of your vaccination or provide a quarantine certificate before traveling. Also, if you recently traveled in the Philippines, please share your travel experience and let us know what you think of the travel restrictions. Again, thank you guys for tuning into my channel, and if you have any other questions or comments, please post them down below and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Again, thank you guys for watching. I hope everyone is staying safe and have a great day.